Hello. So, yes, I'm called Julia. I'm managing director of a company called Plugin Media, and we're based in Brighton. And we make animation and we make interactive digital content for kids. And that's from age 2 all the way through to teenagers. So there's usually quite a lot of different projects going through our studio at any given time. Sometimes we're making work that goes out to clients. So we might be answering a brief that they've given us. And in those cases, we generally sell our services to our clients on a day rate. So an example of that might be, I think we've made 3 Operation Ouch games. And for those, we work really closely with the TV show producers. And from that relationship, we work together to come up with great ideas for really fun, sort of playful experiences that are really reflective of the brand, really represent what Operation Ouch might mean. And then it's delivered to the audience as an interactive experience on the CBBC website. And then the other side of what we do is developing our own original projects. And for those, we're responsible for coming up with the ideas, and then we have to go out and raise finance to make the ideas. And then when they're made, we own the rights and we launch the projects out into the world. And an example of that might be our CBeebies animation, which is called Tia Mo. And as well as having made sort of 70 TV episodes for that show, we've also made games. In fact, it was a digital first property, so it started with games. And then we moved on to making songs, which are on YouTube. And then we made apps. And then we've since moved into licensing. So we've got books and toys. We've got a really popular YouTube channel, and we also manage the brand on social media. And for us, it's been really useful to have a mix of both different types of project going through the studio, because the different mix of revenue streams could be really helpful with the cash flow. So in terms of the different roles that are within my business or that are required to make these kinds of projects, I think what we try to do at Plugin is to ensure that our team is multi-skilled in both the interactive and linear production, because we make content for both sides of that. So on the games and digital side of our business, the roles tend to be split between production, where we have producers or project managers, and they're generally assisted by production assistants. On the creative side, we have art directors, we have animators, we have graphic designers, and we also use sound designers. And on the technical side, we work with developers who are specialized in different programming languages. So it might be HTML5 and JavaScript for when we're making web content, or it might be a program called Unity, which we use for making apps. And then we also work with freelance consultants on a variety of different roles on different projects. And because our work's very different, these roles vary a lot, but we might work with a social media consultant. We also make quite a lot of educational games that are tied to the curriculum. So then we work with educational consultants. We work with script writers. It's really important for us that the games we make really reflect the TV brands that we are representing. And so we try to work with the script writers from the TV shows. We work a lot with video editors, and in the past we've done mixed media projects where we've worked with camera teams as well. So if you're trying to get started in our side of the industry, there tend to be quite a lot of different junior roles that we need on projects. Often talent comes to us from the point of view of being a production assistant, and that tends to be a really, really varied role. And you get to experience the full production cycle from concept to delivery. So for that kind of role, we might be getting you to research other games that are on the market, or looking at, if we say making a game that's to teach kids how to read, we might be asking you to look at different apps that are concerned with literacy for small kids. Or we might be getting you to edit some social media videos, or we might be getting you to test a game. It can be a really varied and therefore quite a fun role. And then we also take juniors directly into the creative side of making interactive content. So that might be a junior artist. And similarly, on the development side, we might work with a junior developer. And every year, what's been an amazing sort of talent pipeline for us has been to take interns on from our local universities. And that is a really brilliant way to get very sort of early work experience. Even before you finished your degree, you can come in and work with us. So that's been really important to us. So quite often when we're looking for new talent, we do take people who've come from very specific degrees in perhaps animation or in games development, but we've also taken on apprentices in the past, and people who have really developed their skills just by working on side projects. They may not have gone to university, they might have taught themselves programming, either at developing skills that they learned at school or just having a passion for it and spending their evenings programming in their bedrooms. So we're always really interested to see people, as long as they've got a portfolio that they can show us of projects that they've worked on in their own time. We're absolutely desperately keen to see what you've done and to meet you. If you want to enter the production side of things, don't feel like you have to have done media studies or anything media related. We generally find people with a general arts degree or a social sciences degree or any degree really is absolutely fine. But the really important skills there are to have writing skills and really competent numeracy and be really passionate and great at organizing things. But because our output is so varied, we place a lot of emphasis on transferable skills. So we're really, really interested in what you've been doing. And, if you're coming from a completely different area, then it's really important to think about what you've done that might reflect well in a different area of industry. And it's really, really important that we have a diverse workforce from people with lots of different walks of life and different backgrounds, because we really want people to make content that has an original voice and that reflects the very different lives of kids and their interests today. So some kind of top tips for starting out in our area of the industry. The first thing I was going to say was that all experience is really good experience. So even if you think you've been doing jobs in shops or in hospitality and you might not think it's relevant, you'll definitely have learned something about being in the workplace, getting along with other people, and it's really important that you put that kind of stuff on your CV. If you're getting in touch with us, make sure you've done some research about the company. We expect you to know what we do, and we want you to have an opinion about the work that we've done, and we'll ask you about that. Number 3, we think it's really important to keep a very fluid growth mindset. So what we want you to do is to accept that you're going to be learning throughout your career, and what you go into the industry doing might not be what you stick at. So be interested in all the roles in your chosen field and be really open-minded about that, and expect to change and develop throughout your career. It's really important to be flexible and get really stuck into what the diversity of different roles that there are here. And finally, working in the media can be huge amounts of fun. And I think what I've always enjoyed about my career in the media is how every day is different and very, very varied. But it's also really, really hard work. You have to put in a lot of hours. And then I was going to end by just 3 different places to look for different schemes. I think everyone here has mentioned skill set. If skill set's great for TV and games, and then on the game side of things, it's worth keeping an eye on the Ukie website. And then on the animation side of things, Animation UK, there are so many different courses out there. And I think one of the outcomes of the pandemic is so much learning moving online. And it's amazing how many are free, but certainly loads of them are very, very accessible to everyone. And mentorship is really, really valuable as well. And Skillset does a great mentorship scheme. I already mentioned that we take interns from our local universities. So for us, they're paid for by the university, and some of them are sponsored, I think, by Santander, which is great. And that's been brilliant pipeline of talent. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is a very new scheme called the Andy Taylor Foundation, which was set up in memory of the founder of Little Dot Studios. And it's very recently launched, and it's there to help underrepresented talent to access meaningful careers in digital media. So I'd really recommend that you look that up as well.